Hey guys, what's going on? It's me Aiden again with another Maplestory commentary / gameplay. And as you can see in the background, I was basically on my beginner going through the whole entire Maple Island and completing some quests here and there. And then eventually at the end of the video you will see my beginner advancing to a swordsman. But yeah, in this video I'm going to talk about something that kind of hit me in the face, not physically but mentally and emotionally, and it is being competitive. Let's see, being competitive. When you look at being competitive, there's obviously different ways of determining being competitive. There is being the normal competitive, which is perfectly fine the way it is, and then there's being over competitive. But there's obviously two sides to being over competitive. The first side to being over competitive is where you get your emotions, you let your emotions get the better of you. And when I say that, you start blaming people for something that they did wrong, or a minor mistake or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, that happened to me the other day. I was on the basketball court and one of my teammates made a really costly mistake and it just about cost us the game. And at that moment in time, I just absolutely, in my mind, I was gonna say, I'm gonna blame this guy. And I did. And after I told him that, he kind of looked down, and about 5 minutes later, the thought of that moment took a backseat in my mind, and I thought, wow, I really regret that. And then after the game, I apologized to him and I said sorry, and I'll never ever do that again. Because there's going to be your emotions are going to get the better of you sometimes. And let's face it, moments like that are always going to happen. But you have to learn from your mistakes. I mean, if you guys do that one time, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, at that moment in time, it's bad, but you can get over it. And if you take the decision in your mind saying, okay, I'm gonna apologize to him, they're gonna accept it. I'm pretty sure they will accept it, because you know, if you're sincere enough, they will. And you know, if just the whole thing of what I'm trying to say, oh, sorry, I was like dozing off there, but the whole part of what I'm trying to say in that situation is, don't let your emotions get the better of you, and don't blame other people. Don't blame them, but support them, because if you support them, I'm pretty sure there might be a better chance that they'll perform better. And that can relate to basketball, you know, soccer, gridiron, you know, writing, English, music, whatever. It can relate to many things. It's just the matter of fact that you can't let your emotions get the better of you, and don't blame but support. And another thing of being over competitive, this part of being over competitive, it's kind of touchy, and you know, a lot of you guys might think, okay, I really shouldn't do this, but this situation has happened to me one time, and you know, I let my emotions get the better of me, and it was after a grand final game. You know, it was so close at the end, and we just lost it. And at the end, I was so disappointed. I just fell on the floor, man. I just lost it. I just started crying, and like, it was so hard, because like, we just lost a really close game, and that competitive nature inside me it really drove me to win it. And our team couldn't get it done at the end. And for me, at that moment in time, at that moment right there, I was really disappointed, and I just started crying. And the thing I loved about that moment also was that people from my team actually came around me and comforted me, and they said, don't worry about it, man, you played well, like, good game. It was a good game, but you know, we just couldn't get it done at the end. And I really enjoyed that, and I really respected the fact that they won the game, the other team, and my teammates, you know, were backing me up and saying, don't worry about it, man, you played really good today. And at the end of the game, you know, even people from the opposition, they really respected the fact that I was really competitive, and they shook my hand willingly, and so did I. And I said to them, good game, good luck in the future, and stuff like that. And it was really nice at that moment in time, because wholly of what I'm trying to say in that moment is that don't worry about what other people think. If you start crying because you don't get what you want, or you don't get where you want to be, don't be afraid to let your emotions don't be afraid to start crying in that moment in time in public or anything, because ultimately, if you think like, let's say a week later, you look back at that moment, you're going to think, okay, I was really strong in that moment. Because I can tell you right now, if you let your emotions go out there, and you know, a lot of people will look at you and say, okay, that kid really cared, and that's perfectly fine. I love the way he goes about it, and that's another good thing, because you just, later on, you think that, okay, it was really embarrassing that moment in time, but then you think, you know, maybe a little later, thinking, okay, I was really competitive in that moment, and I reckon that crying and letting my emotions loose at that moment was perfectly fine. It's just don't be afraid to like let your emotions out on the court or whatever you want to do, because ultimately people won't judge you. I guarantee you that. And yeah, overall, what I'm trying to say is, like, your competitiveness is fine. If the only way it won't be is if you be over competitive and start blaming people for something that they committed that was just a clearly really bad mistake. Instead of blaming them, support them, and like losing it on the court, and like you just start crying. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because ultimately, if you just stand there and you think, okay, that was really embarrassing, you're not going to go anywhere. But you have to take the other side of that moment, and you have to say, okay, that was nothing wrong with that. I'm stronger than most other people for doing that, and I don't think anyone else can judge me. But yeah, wow, man, I kind of got fired up during that commentary. But yeah, hopefully you didn't find it too confronting. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.